How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I'm going to be doing a little video on my guitar setup / maintenance routine. The purpose of this video is going to be to provide you guys with some tips and tricks when it comes to setting up your guitars at home. So everything I'm going to go over in this video is going to range from cleaning the guitar, restringing, and adjusting everything from your intonation to your string action, so that way you can improve the playability of your guitar and keep it in tune. So everything that I use to set up and clean my guitar is right below. As you can see, you do not need a ton of tools. Ideally, it's nice to work on a flat table or a workbench, but for the sake of lighting and shots, I am going to be working on the floor in this video. Before I begin, I also do want to clarify that I am by no means a professional. I'm just an experienced guitarist, but I do also like to do my own work at home when I can, so that way when I have some recording to do, practice, gigging, whatever, I'm able to get those things done on time and I don't have to wait around for my guitar to get set up. So the guitar that I'm going to be working on today is my ESP EC1000 Deluxe. This guitar has a mean set of Seymour Duncan humbucker pickups. We then have this Tune-o-matic bridge. And finally, when we go up to the headstock, we have these awesome locking tuners. And I gotta say, this is by far the easiest guitar I've ever worked with. When you're restringing this thing, you don't even have to knot the strings, you just put them right through, and then you'll just tighten up these locking tuners and cut the string, and you are good to go. For strings, I have these D'Addario 10 to 52 gauge strings. These are by far my favorite that I've ever used. I used to buy the Ernie Ball Slinky strings, and I would snap my high E string like once a month. It was ridiculous. I've been playing these for about 2 years and I have never had an issue breaking strings. So these are super durable and they feel great. They stay in tune, so ultimately I would definitely recommend them. Next, I have a couple of products from Dunlop. I have a fretboard cleaner and prep. So this will go on after I take the strings that are on the guitar off now to clean up the fretboard. Then I have this guitar polish and cleaner that we will use a little light mist of to clean up the body of the guitar. Have a little microfiber cloth to go along with those two, and then I just have a string action ruler to check the string height, and then this little multi-tool which you're going to be using for things like adjusting the action with the truss rod and adjusting the bridge. So here I'm just loosening up the strings starting from the high E, and then after that I'm going to loosen up all these locking tuners so that way we can get the strings off the guitar. Now that all the strings have been loosened from the headstock, we could just pop them out the other side of the bridge. And now that the strings are off the guitar, we can see just how filthy this fretboard is. And this is an accumulation of dead skin and all sorts of grime that we're going to be removing. You'll also see that in between the pickups and the bridge, there's a ton of dust. Most of that is actually from picking and the pick wearing down, and that's where all that dust comes from. Alright, so now the first step in the process of cleaning is going to be this fingerboard spray. So it says to shake well and to apply to the fingerboard using a clean cloth. Just going to spray some of this on here, and you can always add more, so don't go crazy with it at first. Seems like enough to me. Now, as you can see by looking at the guitar closely, these frets up here look very, very nice and clean and conditioned, and the ones below here look very dull and dirty. And I'm still gonna hit these again because, as you can see, there's still some grime on there that hasn't come off. So you just kind of gotta work it in there. You can use a light amount of pressure just to clean this up here. You wanna just kind of work under those frets. Alright, so now that that is done, you can see there's a world of difference in this fretboard. It looks very nice and hydrated, and there's no dirt and grime trapped in between the frets. It is all clean. Now I'm just going to take some of this guitar cleaner and polish. I'm going to flip the microfiber over, spray some of this on here, and I'm just going to go over all the body pieces of the guitar. And you know I had to get a satisfying clip for in between the bridge and the pickups here because this is probably the dirtiest part. Look at that. Look at in between here compared to the bridge. Filthy. All that gray there is pick dust that I caught from in between the pickups and the bridge. And it is all clean now. So now that we have taken the time to get the guitar squeaky clean, we're gonna move on to the stuff that actually matters, which is restringing the guitar, adjusting the intonation and truss rod height, and making sure that the action is perfect. One thing I also wanted to mention when you're restringing the guitar, you want to make sure that the hole in the tuning pegs is completely straight. As you can see from this angle, it is just going straight through, and that means that there is tension on the string and there's not going to be any slack when we go to tune it up. So all I have to do from here is tighten my locking tuners. Obviously, if you're somebody who does not have locking tuners, then you want to make your knot here, and then you would just cut the string. It's a little tough to show with one hand, but again, like I did before, once the string is through, I'm just going to turn the guitar around and tighten the locking tuners and tune up. I'm just keeping tension on the string at the top of the nut here, making sure it's seated again. Everything is straight. I'm going to keep tension on it one more time, tighten up these locking tuners, and bam, the D string is in and it's ready to be strung up. Another thing you really want to do is get the string stretched out. So what you'll want to do for that is just go from the top to the bottom of the neck, stretch the strings out individually, and this will help them loosen up and break in a little bit better. And then after you're done with that, just go very gentle. You don't need to use a ton of force. Basically just want to get up and under the strings. Again, use very light force when you are stretching them. And then what you'll want to do again is check the tuning. And this guitar is actually tuned to drop D, so it's just the low E string is a whole step lower. Now for arguably my favorite part of restringing my guitar. Something I forgot to mention earlier in the video is it's good to have one of these string clippers. This is just to take off the slack on the ends. And some of them even come with these little attachments that go on the tuning pegs, like that. So when you're tuning the guitar, it's a little bit easier. I don't really find it necessary, but I could see somebody who's doing this all day using that. So again, I like to start from the highest string and work down. And you want to get close to the tuning peg, but not too close. I'd say about here. And we have a perfect little cut on the tuning peg. You never realize how tough it is to do these things with the camera. And this process has probably taken me about 4 times as long as it normally does, just because I'm recording a video. And I'm trying to make sure that all of the angles are easy to watch and look good. So it's certainly been a bit of a learning experience trying to document all this. So if this video has been helpful for you guys, definitely be sure to leave a comment down below. And there we go. We now have a super fresh looking headstock. So the next thing I'm going to be doing is checking the neck action. Now I noticed the other day while I was playing that I was very happy with the action towards the bottom of the neck here. But as we move down, the string height kind of increases a little bit. And it's sitting a little bit higher towards the bridge. I don't even know if you can pick it up on camera. It is very, very subtle. But ultimately what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna measure the string height with the string ruler that I have over here, get it to the point where I want it to be, and I'll show you guys where that is. And then I'm going to adjust the action accordingly. Now, when it comes to adjusting the truss rod, generally they're going to be on the headstock of the guitar. Some are lower down, like on my acoustic. And there's just this little Phillips head screw at the top of the headstock here. Once you get it loosened up enough, you can just pull it out. And then your truss rod actually sits right in there. From there, what you want to do is find the correct size Allen key. In this case here, mine is a 4mm. After that, all you would want to do is either turn this Allen key to the right, which is going to give you more relief, and that would keep the strings closer to the neck, so that would lower the action. Or if you go to left and loosen it, that's going to give you higher action. And you want to be very careful that the strings aren't too close to the frets. Like here, you can see this is right about where I want it at the bottom of the neck here. If I went any more, I would be getting some string buzz, and that would not be good. And just to verify that the action is in the right place, we're going to turn over our string ruler. And it says here on the 6th string, the action should be at about 1.5 to 2 millimeters. Now if we measure at the 12th fret, we can see is at right around 1.75 millimeters. So essentially you would do the same thing for the other side of the neck. So since the action is a little high down low, I am just going to come over here and tighten these screws in the bridge a little bit, and that should resolve that problem for me. And it seems to me like everything is right about where I want it now. Now the final thing I have to do is tune the guitar back up, and then I'm going to play the string open, and then again at the 12th fret to see if it is properly intonated. So now that we are finally finished with this little DIY maintenance setup at home on your electric guitar, my biggest tip is just to jam on the guitar and get the strings stretched out, and they should settle in fairly quickly and hold tuning, but don't be discouraged if they don't at first. You can always go back and readjust whatever you need. So anyways, that is going to wrap it up for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed and found something in this video helpful. This is the first tutorial type video I've done, so if there's anything you feel that I missed or any other questions that you have, be sure to leave them down in the comments and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Otherwise, I had a lot of fun making this video, and I look forward to doing more like this in the future if you guys enjoy the content. But that wraps things up. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.